From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big morning on Mornings LA, live from Santa Monica with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Surf's up, and so are the dramatics from Nancy and Josh. In this fourth stimulus check recording of 2021, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. We'll go over what these checks are and what that secret meeting was the president had on Sunday about the checks. Then we'll go over the incredible dramatics that heated up last night as Nancy and Josh got into a war of words that looked like something from Days of Our Lives meets Santa Barbara. I'll have all the incredible details as a big Mornings LA broadcast gets underway right now. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and it's time for a big Mornings LA starting right now. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day here in Santa Monica, California. Hope the weather is good where you are. Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, so much happening as the president has a secret meeting on the weekend, and thank goodness he did, because the dramatics were at high alert last night. I had told you over the weekend that Steny Hoyer had ordered his House members back in session. They did come back yesterday, and I told you they were voting last night at 6 o'clock. They did vote. And I told you that you need to subscribe to the new LA Alerts. And you did. More about that in a second. But boy, I had never seen dramatics like this in this fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. We'll go over those monthly stimulus checks and why you're likely to get more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people. But then we will go over the dramatics between Nancy and Josh. A dramatics you have never seen in a long time. It's like a soap opera hit DC. I have all that and more. But first, if you haven't become part of the new LA Alerts that's captivating a country, you need to right now. Thousands have signed up for the blockbuster LA Alerts. It's free. The alert link is underneath the video. It's news.la.com/alerts. Once you do, you'll get a confirmation email. Make sure you look for that email. Click the blue button, and then you'll get a thank you, and away you go. And with that, let's go into those monthly stimulus checks. But first, how are you? Thank you for joining me on a big, bold, beautiful morning. How you doing? Subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. And this is LA, live in the morning like right now, and then taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Morning's Crypto at 9:45, and then noontime LA Late at 11 a.m. Let's get into those monthly stimulus checks. Senate versus House, House versus Democrats. And guess what? More Democrats are saying, you need stimulus checks. What are you doing? So let's go over what they want to pay out and who wants to pay out what sum of money. Sanders, Warren, and also Wyden now say need a monthly stimulus check, riding the president saying, you need to give them a monthly stimulus check. What are you doing? The amount unknown, or at least not mentioned by them. Then, on the House side, AOC, Omar, writing the president a letter as well, saying monthly stimulus checks needed. $2,000. Bammo, whammo, love it, $2,000. Then we have the House bill. I'll get back to that in a second. We have the House Ways and Means Committee, who are actually writing the fourth stimulus recon. Them writing the president saying there should be a monthly fourth stimulus check, not giving the amount, and then saying next year after fourth is done, then we do fifth as well. And guess what? The American petition, now at $2,000 a pop monthly, 3 to 4 million signatures. Wow, incredible, great news. But how about that House bill? Pandemic plus 1 year. Well, that would be at least 12 checks, which would be at least $13,000. So vote House or Senate. House or Senate, I think you have an opinion. Jump in the live chat right now and vote House or Senate and tell me where you're tuned in from. And how's the weather? Who gets this forced stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that if you're a single individual, you get a forced stimulus check, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent married couple, you get a forced stimulus check, $150,000 or less, double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check, quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent, you get a forced stimulus check. The forced stimulus check is on income, it's not taxable, and the forced stimulus check will be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And finally, the forced stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you were at the casino last night and saw the check staggering out after too many $12 ice creams, a little bit too many $12 ice creams, and you try to waive the check may have said, "Hey, Lalate, I see two of you. I had too many ice creams." The response back to the check is, "That's fine, so long as I see you reoccurring." And in the second half of this video, we go over the big money, $3.5 trillion of checks coming to the American people. I'll explain what's happening. And then the final 15 minutes, oh boy, stay to the final 15 minutes. It's a lot of news. It's one of those days where there's so much news, I'm going to try to get it all in. Josh versus Nancy. Yeah, if you missed WWE last night, don't worry. I'm going to cover it today, right now, with Josh versus Nancy. Oh my goodness. Some of the words I won't be able to say on air because it's that dramatic. And that's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. But first, let's get some money. Get a pen and paper ready because we're going to get some money for rent, utilities, food, or internet. This is money that the President of the United States put in the third stimulus package for you. And now the viewers of this channel are getting massive sums of money. And can we take a look at the success stories we got overnight? I told you, if you had gotten rent, utilities, food, internet, or mortgage assistance because of the channel, send me a private message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Lalate, and thank you for the wonderful, kind comments. And this is what we got. Dottie saying, "Hey, Lalate, I wanted to thank you. We received $10,000 for rent covered from December 2020 to December 2021. RAMP, R-A-M-P, of Mississippi is who helped us. Please spread the word." Thank you, Dottie. And yes, that's RAMP of Mississippi. Then Sharon and Donnie say thank you, and we got $225 a month for SNAP. And I'm pouncing to keep on pushing to $225 and more. Keep on pushing. Great job. That's monthly. Donald says, "I finally received $400 for utilities." Great job, Donald. And then Robert says, "Hello, Lalate. I want to thank you because I just got approved for $18,000 for rent, $16,000 for SNAP, and $7,000 for utilities. Keep doing a wonderful job helping other people. God bless you. I'm a member and I go by Dread with 2 Ds. Been following since the pandemic started. My name is Robert, and again, thank you. And congratulations to all of you. If you've had a success story, drop it in the, send it to me on social media in private message, and I'll feature it on air. When we talk about this rent, how is this money? Let's get a pen and paper ready. We're going to get some rent, utilities, food, mortgage, and mortgage assistance. Let's go to that rent. How much money our viewers gain for rent? They're not getting a few $100s. They're not getting a few $1,000s. Oh, can we see the graphic? Bam. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth, Purple Hawk, getting $27,000 for channel. Mark, Purple Hawk, $25,000 for rent. Nancy, $24,000 for rent. Richard, $22,000, and Nisi, $20,000. Look at all those people over $20,000 for rent. Then when we talk about the utilities, Cecilia tells me she got $1,200 for heat. That's a heap of heat. And let's look at the other success stories. Oh my goodness, there's Nancy and Mark again, $7,000, $6,500, and Angela, great job. And then when we talk about SNAP, money for food, can we see that one? Oh, wow. $18,000 for Louie, and $10,000 for John, and $5,000 for Nancy. There's Nancy. She got 3 items. Triple Crown winner. Who also made it to the final round of the Triple Crowns? Let's see it. Wow. Oh my goodness. Nancy getting $32,000 for 3 items. Incredible. Nisi, $23,000 for 3 items. Incredible. And there's Mark with $32,000 and 2 items. 2 items. 2 items. Mark, how did you get on my graphic about 3 items? You got 2 items. I'll tell you why. Mark has 3 wonderful parts to his story. Number 1, Mark did get 2 items of $32,000. So I said to Mark on air for 5 days, I said, "Marco, get the remainder of the money." It is SNAP, and it's a SNAP to get. It's very easy to get, and he did. I love it. I love that he got SNAP within just a few days. It shows the Purple Power spirit. Number 2, he told his neighbor, "Hey, watch that kid. He's the real deal." And the neighbor went from 0 to $20,000 of rent in less than 5 days. Wow. And the third part of the story, of course, is the amount of money he got. Mark got that SNAP in just less than 5 days. But how much do you think he got? He got a heap of heap. He got a heap of rent. Let's look at a heap of Snap. Oh my goodness. $19,000 for Snap, bringing Mark's grand total to $50,500. And this is what we do. And Lorraine even going higher at $105,000. This is the Purple Power Hawks. This is the Purple Power community. And this is Ally. This is what we've been doing since day one. In spring of last year, the EIDL loan went out and people applied before this channel existed. And then their applications were not getting approved. So I launched this channel to get their applications approved, doing their applications on air and off air, day in, day out, recording after recording. And then we made breakthrough. It was a 330, the 331, the 48 Vortex, Bombshell. And finally, $25 million of EIDL loans approved by me because of this channel, saving people's homes, their businesses, and their employees' homes. But then in fall 2020, second stimulus was not coming. And I stepped forward. I said, I need to get you money. It's the holidays. And I got viewers $250,000 for rent. Tyrone and his family out of Boston getting $25,000 for rent. But now you're doing it bigger and bolder than ever before. I'm so proud of you. So if you found this channel, or you're new to this channel, or you've been a viewer of this channel and haven't gotten the money, today is your day. Get that pen and paper ready. First, some introductory remarks. Number one, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. I'm holding up like 9 fingers. Here we go. 6 places to reach out to. Hold up the right number of fingers. 6 places to reach out to. Each place has different eligibility. If you reach out to one and it says no, reach out to the next. Also, they have their own pot of money. Don't worry about that. Also, they have their own eligibility criteria. So if one says no, the next will say yes. Listen to the keywords I say in the video. It helps people get approved. Also, what's important to understand is that every state has money. Every state has the same amount of money given from the federal government based upon the number of citizens in the state. But your city may only have 20 citizens in the city, not LA. But it may be a town of only 20 people. Go up on the food chain. I'm going to show you that in a second. Here you go. You're going to reach out to your 6 places: your city hall, your city housing authority; your county hall, your county housing authority; your state hall, your state housing authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch Attini. Excuse me. What is that? That's half part $12 ice cream, half part lobster sauce. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm hanging up the phone, sir. And there you go. If you got money for rent or utilities, post in the live chat right now. The next part of the money is the money for Snap. And you saw that viewer, Robert, overnight getting $16,000 for Snap. Congratulations. And what is Snap? Snap is money for food. It's a Snap to get. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom. Gail got it as well. Mark got $19,000, Louis $18,000, John $10,000 to $12,000. And what is Snap? It is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And a family of 4 out of Hawaii would normally get $16,000 a year. But if you were with me on this channel on last Monday, you heard the breaking news when it came in. Incredibly wonderful news. Department of Agriculture, after pushing from the president, changed their policy and said everyone's benefits are going up. How much? Everyone is going up an average of 25% lifetime, automatically starting in October. Oh my goodness, incredible, great news. Mark going from 19,000 to 25,000. And if you've had a success story for Snap, post a live chat right now. The next part of the money is the money coming back from your state due to overpayment of computer error and unemployment benefits. That's because their computers are very old. They're running Windows 22, you know, the 1922 version, where the keyboard is made out of wood. They upgraded from the Windows 10, which was Windows 1910, where the keyboard was made out of stone, the Ice Age version. So reach out to your state, and the average check for that is about $3,000 to $5,000 if yours continue to get. This is the refund check due to overpayment of unemployment benefits. Finally, the refund check coming back from IRS for that 2020 tax returns you paid taxes on. Margaret got it, Cod got it, Michael got it, but it's a waivable check. The average payment is about $1,200. Mark tells me he got $1,400, and a nice viewer over the weekend on Instagram tells me she got over $2,000. More about that in a second, but first this. If you haven't posted your success stories in the live chat, please do, because the spirit of this channel is people helping people. I launched this channel for others to help one another and for me to help you. And when you post your success stories in the live chat, you help people, because then people realize, wait a second, this is money I should be getting. Number one, when you post your success stories, people realize that this is not a few dollars. This is thousands of dollars. And people never realize that utilities is thousands of dollars. Also, it helps inspire people to just simply pick up the phone, pick up the phone and call. You can call when there's an outage for gas or call when there's an outage for water. You can certainly call up and ask for some money. And then a lot of people never heard of things like Snap, like Larry Maui. Never heard of Snap till he saw my recording. He's getting $500 a month, a lifetime, because of my recording. And then we have people like Art Sullivan and Nisi, viewers of this channel, wonderful people. They got 3 items. They inspired a generation. Now people are getting 3 items routinely, like Mark and Nancy. And then suddenly we're seeing the numbers are bigger and bolder than ever before. So with that, post your success stories and make the call. And finally, the refund check coming back from IRS, yes, 70% of the time you can track it on irs.gov, do a transcript search, and it will reveal the tax return you filed, the taxes you paid, and the refund check you're getting about 70% of the time. And then it'll also reveal stuff you wish you had never seen, like the ingredient list on the Michatini. Oh, it's actually worse than I thought. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second part of your Forced Stimulus Check Update 2021, starting right now, live from Santa Monica, deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under the Forced Stimulus Recon. How can I say deal done and what type of checks? Let's go over all the details starting right now. First stimulus, second stimulus, third stimulus is this big, fourth stimulus is this big. The recon of forced stimulus has been agreed upon of a price tag before they started the voting process, $3.5 trillion. The Democrats also agreed to pass it, done. And they don't need any Republicans, done. And the $3.5 trillion is all checks for the American people, done. Unlike the previous stimulus packages that were mostly for corporations. So what are some of those checks? And when do you get them? How do you get them? What are the nature? I have all the details coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video, stay to the very end. But how do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot by taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting in something called the bipartisan. A conservative publication confirms my reporting. By taking the higher priced items out of the recon, and the harder it was to pass. But by allowing it to take out some of the spending from the recon, like roads and bridges, put it in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. And they're both now passed for the House, now in the Senate. House passed in the Senate, now in the House. So something you're only going to hear on this channel is that the Democrats agreed to the price tag of the $3.5 trillion before they started the process. Not just senators, but also House members met with the president and said, I want to agree upon a price tag, and they did before they started the whole process. So the $3.5 trillion price tag is already agreed upon. That's why Representative Ilhan Omar and Representative Richie Torres, Democrats and progressives, she's from Minnesota, he's from New York, had said before the price tag, we need to go big. Well, they got it, $3.5 trillion. He had said we need a larger recon. She had said we need to go as big and bold as we need in this recon. And she got it, $3.5 trillion. That's why the president told the progressives, protect my recon, because everything in there is progressive spending policies, like he told Schatz and Jolopal. The White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon your priorities. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? It's important to know this because the president has made very clear. You must put on his desk in the White House both bodies of legislation at the same time. He will not sign one unless you give him both. So what are the two bodies of legislation? Let's go over them starting right now. We have recon and we have bipartisan. The two pass and start with the following. Number one, recon, your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill. Price tag $3.5 trillion. It's also called the spending plan or the Democrat spending plan or the progressive social reform plan. I saw an article this morning. It had 5 other names for it. I just can't believe the names are coming up for this. But if you see the name spending or 3.5 trillion, that's how you recognize it. It's your money. Bipartisan, not your money. This is roads and bridges. This is infrastructure, price tag 1.5 trillion. So what is recon substantive and what is recon procedural? Recon procedural first, passed the Senate, now in the House. Very easy concept of which they've already agreed upon. Do you agree upon a price tag of 3.5 trillion? Of course I do. I already did before I started this process. Why are you asking me that question again? And then do you agree that committee number 1 gets $10, committee number 2 gets it? I did. I told you this already. Why do you keep on asking me that question? Because you got to vote on it. You know how it works here. Grouchy old House members. Then you get to the substantive. Then they agree. Then they vote upon how the committees are to spend the money. This is really critical, and I'm going to go over that in the final 15 minutes of how they spend the money. How do we get to this wonderful spot? We got to this wonderful spot by Jalopal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying Chuck called the vote on the recon. And that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who wrote the president a letter saying we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Well, there you go, because guess what? There's also something even better than that. 7 House members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently wrote the president a letter saying we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Whoa, the same one we talked about in the opening of this video? Yes. Now, these people represent that they want to put stimulus checks in the forced stimulus recon. Well, they need to do it. Here is that House Ways and Means Committee. They say there should be a forced stimulus check, and it should be monthly, and it should be reoccurring. And they want a fifth after that, but you need to push and make sure they keep their promise. The American Petition is calling for it. Warren, Sanders, and Wyden, AOC, and Omar, and of course the House bill. So make sure you push. Can we top that? Yes, as Biden did it 8 weeks ago. He went overseas for a ceremonial signature, but the real one happened days later back in the United States. It's for something called the global minimum corporate tax rate. What is it? You don't really need to know. The great news is it's out of the recon, making it easier to write the recon, easier to vote on the recon, easier to pass the recon. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, there's a lot of breaking news, almost too much breaking news. We'll go over the dramatic soap opera that happened last night between Nancy and Josh. What were they arguing about, and why Nancy has turned from the Temple of Doom into the Temple of Paradise of 2021. And I'm not joking. Then we go over the surprising developments of a secret meeting from the president, the surprising quiet message from Steny Hoyer, the tip-off from Steny Hoyer as well. We'll go over what is in that recon that is for you, and we'll go over what is happening later today. There's a lot of dramatics, and if you've not signed up for the new incredible LA Late alerts, please do. It's the talk of the town, as countless people, thousands, are now getting those alerts, and it is incredible. You go to news.la.com. Make sure you look for that confirmation message. Hit that confirmation across the board. Meantime, the exciting details is that if you've gotten one sum of money from this channel, rent, utilities, food, or internet, you are ready for forced stimulus. If you haven't been able to get the other sums of money, don't worry. Reach out to the volunteers. Where are they? They're on the community page. And where is that? Open the description of this video. Go down the description until you'll find a link to the community page. It's news.la.com/community. Here's a little bit about them. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as the final 15 of Mornings LA heats up. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now on a big Mornings Lalate. The House is back in session, and they were voting last night, despite what one troll now banned from the live chat was trying to tell you otherwise. Steny Hoyer ordered the House back in session, and last night they were in session and they were voting. And in fact, Nancy Pelosi has now threatened a fascinating vote for today. I'll go over the exciting dramatics of that coming up in a second. Also, we'll go over the incredible details of what is in store from Nancy versus Josh. Dramatics you're never going to see across the board, and a soap opera of magnitude never seen across this channel. Then we cut to the big money that's in your fourth stimulus recon and what the President of the United States did on Sunday, what Steny Hoyer did yesterday, and what are these sums of money you're getting under this massive fourth stimulus recon. And with that, welcome back to the second half of Mornings Lalate. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record for a reason. We have the correct news here, not incorrect news, as some people always try to jump into live chat and pose. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. And also, don't forget to hit the brand new Lalate alerts. Remember, look for that confirmation email that comes for you, that you have to hit that blue button and get a thank you. If you didn't get it, then start over and you can do it again. It's at news.lalate.com, Lalate alerts. You'll be getting alerts like this one across the board. Let's cut into the exciting details about this stimulus, as the President of the United States did not deliver this yet, and so the Democrats are taking care of this in what's called a fifth stimulus. Fifth stimulus starts in September, starts drafting, then goes to a vote potentially by November. The details are the following. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll remove the asset limits, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over all the details of that starting right now. Who gets this? You do. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, Veterans Benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. First step is they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Next step, they'll apply a new benchmark. What is it? It's inflation. It's replacing COLA. How high is it going to go? It's going to be transitory. That's a fancy word Jay Powell says, which explains it's going to reach a peak in December. Yes, when they apply your benefits. Now, how high is it going to go? Well, it's going high enough that the new Fed minutes released last week suggests we need to start tapering the Federal Reserve as around that time. Oh boy, let's do an analysis of, let's say, 5%. First, they'll raise your benefits up a lifetime. Then they'll apply a benchmark, which will raise your benefits up another 5%, not just next year, but lifetime. Because once your benefits go up, they never go down. Then they're going to remove the asset cap dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. It's going to go away, so you'll have some muddled. Did you call this muddled? How dare you? It's KC Royal Blue for Canute. Although I don't recognize anything KC Royal. And then you'll be able to get excited about the removal of the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that should go away. And finally, you will get the incredible details of the big money that will land in your bank account when the income cap goes away. Finally, the marriage penalty is going to end. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to do a pair dance. And if you're at home, get up and do a pair dance, because that marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you will no longer fear loss of benefits across the board. And there you go. Will there be a fifth stimulus check? The Democratic House Ways and Means Committee represents there will be. And finally, what about those Purple Hawks? If you're in a live chat and you've noticed the Purple Hawks, what are you doing? You need to join. The link to join as a Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP is underneath this video. Hundreds of people joining daily. When you join as a Purple Hawk, I deliver only to members, this is only for members who are Purple Hawks, a breakdown of all the big money under first stimulus, second stimulus, and third stimulus, and what's proposed under fourth and fifth. I launched Purple Hawks in January this year when I said, yeah, there's a third stimulus check of $1,400, but you're not going to stay focused on $1,400. You're going to get the big sums of money across the board. And now viewers are getting $27,000 for just one item, $7,000 for utilities, $18,000 for SNAP. Viewers getting $32,000 for multiple items, $50,000, and over $100,000 like Lorraine. You need to consider becoming a Purple Hawk and pounce, because all this big money is available for you under first, second, and third, and proposed under fourth. A daily breakdown of this money is delivered only to members of this channel daily across the board. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of your fourth stimulus check recon of 2021 as Nancy Pelosi and Josh get to the dramatics and the big bump serve spike. And here we go. Done deal. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you and the American people under the forced stimulus recon. Number one, the Democrats agreed upon the price tag before they started the process. So this price tag is a done deal. Number two, they agreed to do it because all the Democrats have said yes. So they don't need any Republicans. All the Democrats say yes. Number three, the president says I have to have roads and bridges and recon on my desk at the same time. So the Republicans love the roads and bridges and the Democrats love the recon. No one's working against each other. Great news. And finally, it's all checks for you. Over the last 2 weeks, a lot of news reports wanted to tell you that no one was in town. No one's coming back to town. I said wrong. Tune in only to this channel. I told you Steny Hoyer had ordered the House back in session and they were going to start voting last night, and they did. They were on the House floor and they went in session and they started arguing last night at 6 o'clock. More about what they argued in a second. But it's really what fascinates me is this third part of his message, which is we're going to be staying here until we're done. Done? Done? What else is to be done? Because if you do the recon procedural, which is a blink of the eye price tag you already agreed upon, then what's left to be done? Recon substantive. If you've been with this channel, you know I always break news before it happens, weeks sometimes ahead of time. And that was what I broke to you last month, where I said there were reports that the recon substantive may go House Senate, unlike recon procedural, which went Senate House. Why do I think this is incredible great news? And why do I think this is what Steny Hoyer is saying? He's saying we're staying here. Well, there's nothing else to do after recon procedural except recon substantive. And if the Senate is gone, then the House could finish it, send it to the Senate when they come back, and then the president signs into law. Why is this beneficial for you? Financially, it's a lot more beneficial because the subcommittee of the House is the one that writes it. So you want the subcommittee that writes the legislation to be the one that votes on the legislation, House and House. Number two, House members always pay more money than Senate Democrats. Number three, House members are more progressives. They spend more money than Senate moderates. Number four, it makes more sense to spend the money on the House side and then have the Senate vote-a-rama after that on top of that. Incredible great news. So with those three bills, recon procedure, recon substantive, by bipartisan, it's the recon it is the recon substantive, which is really the one that we have to say focus on. Now, ultimately, how they spend the money is a big issue. You've been great on social media, pushing and saying, hey, I got it. Everyone's getting checks of 3.5 for several countless issues under that forced stimulus recon, but they still got to spend the money the right way. So that's why I brought back the social media campaign from 2020, Seats for Stimulus. It basically says, spend the money the right way. Don't spend the money the wrong way. Hashtag Seats for Stimulus. Tag your elected officials on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Share this video and say, you need to spend the money the right way. 6 House seats are up for grabs in the next few days. And if it sounds ironic, within just days of relaunching Seats for Stimulus on this channel, guess what happened last night on the House floor during the voting debate? The House members talked about what they need to do to get themselves reelected. Ironic? I think not. 6 House seats are up for grabs, and that's what we have been slamming social media with, saying you need to do the right stimulus or we aren't going to elect you. The 34 House Senate seats are not for next year. So let's go over the dramatics that happened last night between Nancy and Josh. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House. Josh, which Josh? If you've been on this channel for a while, you remember that there was a guy named Representative Josh Gottheimer, who's a Democrat from New Jersey, or at least he calls himself a Democrat, who is part of the problem creators. Remember him? Not one of my most favorite politicians, because every time there was a time to give you money, he was always trying not to give you money, even though he's a Democrat. Remember the CR for stimulus, 2020, your second stimulus check of $600? He didn't want it to go out. He said, hey, just do it without a stimulus check. That guy, yeah. So what was the dramatics last night? Well, the dramatics, let's cut to the chase and give you the end solution before I tell you what happened specifically. The end solution was Nancy Pelosi showed that for 2021, she's no longer the Temple of Doom, but the Temple of Paradise. She not only called Josh's cards, but she said she's vowing to call his cards even more today. What did she say? Well, Josh basically has only one focus, and his focus is to call the vote on the roads and bridges right away, and that he's not opposed to the recon. He doesn't dislike the recon. He just doesn't want the recon to get done anytime soon. Yeah. Sound familiar? That's Josh. So his focus is do roads and bridges right away because roads and bridges is such an urgency. Never. So what did Nancy Pelosi say? She said to him basically that I will give you a date for your roads and bridges way far out in the future. He wasn't happy. He was not a happy camper. She said, I'll give you a date if you really want a date for your roads and bridges. It's like an eternity in the future. He was not happy. I told you she's the Temple of Paradise. She said that was the first thing. Then she went even more deeper. I love it. She called his cards, and you know what she did? She said, if you really want to play games with me, we're going to do a non-vote on the recon. What does she mean? She basically is saying, Josh, if you really want to play games with our own party, I'm going to call a vote for the recon on Tuesday. I'm going to wait for you to vote no, because it looks like you don't want to do anything with our recon. Now, he's never said that. But she's basically saying, you're playing games with the people that want to do something, and we're going to call a vote to set you up if you keep on playing this game. Needless to say, it's unlikely that she's going to call that vote to have Josh say no, which he's not going to say no. He's going to say yes. But she basically did not move her ground. And what's important for you to know is that for purposes of the infrastructure, that date keeps on being pushed out further and further. That date keeps on being pushed out further and further. She's basically saying we're doing recon right now, and that is what we're doing. So they were on the House floor last night, and they had big dramatics. The dramatics were so much that you really have to sort of sit back and say, yes, I applaud you, Nancy Pelosi. You're doing a great job on this. She really basically said, recon's going out, recon's going out, and recon's going out, and go sit down and zip it. And everyone else had her back on it. Oh, now, some of the words that were said during the conversations on the House floor last night, I cannot say on camera because they are not clean words. It's literally that dramatic. Here are some of the things I can say. Representative Susan Wild, who's a Democrat out of Pennsylvania, said, I'm not just running for Congress to take safe votes. Yeah, that's all they were talking about last night was basically seats for stimulus. They were talking about that we need to get this done because we're going to lose our seats. Then came the dramatics. Joyce Beatty, Democrat out of Ohio, said, how dare you? Sounds like Eileen on Beverly Hills Housewives. How dare you? Then Representative Adriana Espaillat out of New York. She says, I'm really angry. That was not the actual word she used. I had to change the words. I can't say them on camera, I told you. And then one Democratic member could be even heard off camera calling the group a bunch of, yeah, I can't even say it. I can't say it. There you go. So let's turn now to why the president had a secret meeting on Sunday. He had a secret meeting on Sunday because he thinks there's a provision that's proposed under the Forced Stimulus Recon subsidy that is very deliciousness that'll help it get over the finish line. And I think he's 100% correct. So here are some of the provisions that are proposed on the recon subsidy. Number one, free school meals for all. Number two, tax breaks. And here's the one he's focusing on. Cheaper prescription medication. More about that second. Then he says cheaper money for farmers. Lots of checks for free internet. Lots of checks for seniors. Lots of checks for workers. Checks for workers, independent contractors. Checks for seniors. Checks for dental. Checks for vision. Checks for hearing care. So what did the president do on Sunday? Well, he had a secret meeting with his Democrats at both the House and Senate saying, you know what, we're getting this recon done. And when we talk about the recon, I want you to talk about the third one, the cheaper prescription medication. Why is he doing this? The article explains what he said. I think it's a very smart move. He said that when you look at all these things, a lot of them take a week for people to get the money, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 years, like roads and bridges. He says prescription medication is literally the next day, 24 hours. What is at issue here? It's basically saying if you go to the pharmacy, you'll spend $5 on an item on Wednesday after it becomes law. That was $20 on Monday. It'll literally change the price, let's say, from $50 to $2 overnight. Prescription medication, pharmaceutical companies have agreed upon prices, let's say, of Medicare. And so under this provision, it would say, no, you're slashing the prices the minute this becomes law. So the next day, when you go to the pharmacy, instead of spending $50 for a piece of medication, you'll spend $5, for example. That is how he thinks this will work and how this will really be understood by the American people. And it makes sense. It absolutely does make sense because suddenly you're spending, let's say, $5 instead of $50 for a particular item at the pharmacy. All right, let's go to that forced stimulus recon and go over all the incredible sums of money that are in that forced stimulus recon and understand what's happening here. So forced stimulus recon is lots of checks. First, second, and thirds was this big. Forced stimulus recon is all this big. It's $3.5 trillion of checks confirmed for the American people. All checks for you, not for corporations like first, second, and third. It's checks for all different walks of life. You saw earlier in this video where we're talking about checks for dental, checks for vision. And these checks are all for the American people. These are checks that have been fought for a generation by Bernie Sanders and also countless Democrats like Wyden. What's important to understand when we talk about these checks is that these are checks that are generally where you go to pick up the phone and get them. And you've been doing that on this channel since day one. You have picked up the phone and called PEBT and say, hey, I need to raise my SNAP benefits. You picked up the phone and applied for PPP or go onto a website, or picked up the phone and applied for unemployment benefits or EIDL. What's at issue is the following: is that when you look at IRS, IRS does not send out checks for your teeth. IRS does not send out checks for your internet. IRS does not send out checks for your vision. IRS sends out checks from Department of Treasury. They have nothing to do with their teeth, your teeth. They have enough problem with their own teeth. They don't concern themselves with your teeth. The teeth that you need help with, or the rent, or the food, or the mortgage, or the internet, that is money that is in other parts of the government. And how forced stimulus would work is the same as first and second, third, is that they'd say, here is the money, come and get it. Come and get it. And you've done an incredible job under first, second, and third, and you're going to do it again under fourth. If you've picked up the phone and called and got $600 of rent, $200 of rent, $300 of utilities, $400 for water, you're going to be in a perfect position under forced stimulus because that is the same task. I'm going to be here with showing you how to get that as well. And finally, the Lalate alerts. The big talk of the town. No one has ever done anything like this. It has been a game changer, and thousands of people have signed up. Here is the Lalate alerts. It's a free alert system that gives you alerts when new video goes live, news alerts when something happens. And how do you get it? Click the link in this video where it says Lalate alerts. It's also at the website operated by Lalate, rolled out within just 24 hours, called news.lalate.com/alerts. When you land on the website, you'll type in your name and your last name and your email address. The next step is very important. Watch for an email from Lalate Alerts that says, please confirm. The email may go to your spam folder, so watch your spam folder. When you get that email, click the blue button. And I say this very literally, click the blue button, because some people are responding back to the email, say, thank you, God bless you. It's an automated system. You got to click the blue button. You can't say, God bless you. I appreciate it, but the blue button doesn't see that. You got to click the blue button. And then when you click the blue button, then it'll say, thank you. If you have tried this before and you think that maybe you have not gotten the alerts yet, you can start over again and do it again. There is about 1,000 of you who are still unconfirmed, so a lot of you have not done the last step. When you do, you get alerts like this, which is for noontime, coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel, live on air, direct from Santa Monica. You'll get an alert for this. You'll click the button. It'll send you right into the video. But next up is Mornings Crypto at 9:45, live from Santa Monica. It's going to be a big show with crypto going left and going right. Doge going back down to 29 cents, and Bitcoin trying to get to 50,000, then pulling back. A lot of dramatics, more than Nancy and Josh. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video to 3,000 likes and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. The link to that is under the video. Become a member so you can deliver to you daily via me all the big money you can get under first, second, and third stimulus. So you can get like 50,000, 60,000, 32,000, or even money for rent, utilities, food, and internet. Stay with me and join me next as we go right into the big dramatics of morning's crypto. The toast was toasting, the butter was buttering, and away we go on a big one.